You're watching Fugitive Red Eye, and welcome to another rant/random thoughts type video. And I'm going to talk about the stuff that happened yesterday, where President Trump was shot in the ear, and there was also a guy in the crowd who was killed. There's been at least one death so far, and a few others who were injured. I did a stream about it yesterday, but I wanted to come on here because I radically underestimated how much the news would bullshit and just be like stupid and vile and lie. So there were articles where they were saying that he fell down, articles saying that he was rushed off the stage after hearing loud noises and shit like that. Like, they didn't want to call it a shooting. They were just like trying to avoid it and acting like, you know, oh, he was rushed out of there because of loud noises and shit. And it's like, hold on, what the fuck? And then you see all these people who, like Destiny and Hassan, who are, like, saying all sorts of crazy shit, right? Like, so, for instance, higher-up leftists, right, like politicians, are saying, oh, we wish him a speedy recovery, we wish him a speedy recovery. But then their actual base, the actual people, like, who aren't politicians, are saying unhinged shit like, oh, you know, this is, like praising it and being upset that it failed, right? Saying that, like, that he shouldn't have missed and shit like that. Like, there's a lot of people on the left saying that unhinged shit, and then there's people on the top of the left pretending that they actually give a shit when they literally incited this with all of this rhetoric for fucking years now, calling him Hitler, saying that he was a threat to democracy, literally advocating it, but claiming it's, like, rhetorical and shit like that. Like, this is obviously brought on by that sort of rhetoric. And then you see a bunch of other people being retarded and being like, oh, look, the shooter was a registered Republican. It's like, that means literally nothing, because primaries in most states, including Pennsylvania, by the way, are closed. So clearly that person, the shooter, he clearly registered Republican so he could vote against Trump in the primary. That's pretty fucking obvious. That's what it was. Especially considering the shooter was also a leftist activist and donated to Act Blue, which is a Democrat-run organization. Like, people act like this voter registration thing is like, oh, look, see, he was a Republican. No, like, that means nothing. Literally, there's tons of people who will register in one party to vote against the guy they don't want in. It happens all the time. But yeah, you got Destiny saying all sorts of crazy shit and, like, making fun of the guy who died and saying that, you know, that Biden's up 1 in Pennsylvania because of that. And then you got fucking Hassan saying that Trump is, like, clout farming it. It's like, motherfucker was just shot and you guys are saying all this shit. Like, it's crazy just how, like, again, none of this is shocking. Even the event itself is not shocking. But the fact that it isn't shocking should be shocking, right? Yeah, it also looks like there was a lot of shit that was just allowed to happen. Like, there was a Secret Service or SWAT sniper that saw the guy on the roof and did nothing about it. And, like, it was known about and mentioned multiple times before it happened. Which to me seems really fucking suspicious. But, yeah, there's a lot of weird shit around this that, it's like, that's interesting. Maybe this was allowed to happen. You know, maybe there's some degree of that, you know, to say the very least. How about the fact that Biden, for the longest time, has wanted to try and get Trump's Secret Service detail removed? You know, like, there's all this shit, like, this shit just seems so orchestrated, like it was so intentional. Like, it was planned out that they wanted to remove him because he's a nuisance to them. Which, you know, again, is not shocking, despite the fact that it should be. But, yeah, no. Obviously, I'm still voting for Trump. I was going to regardless, but man looked like a fucking badass raising his fist in the air and saying fight after it happened. Like, you gotta admit, that's a cool fucking look. Like, there's no way in hell that doesn't gain him a ton of traction. Like, this is going to backfire immensely and gain him a ton of support. The man literally took a bullet for this country, so that's pretty cool. Like, what's not cool is the fact that he got shot, obviously, but, you know, the fact that he took it like a fucking man is pretty cool. What's not cool is that another guy died and others were wounded. Like, that's not cool. Like, obviously this whole thing is fucked up, but, it's gaining Trump more traction, so, there's that. But obviously, anyone who was injured, I really hope that there's no more deaths tied to it. And I really hope that everyone is able to recover. And I feel for the family, the guy who died. Also, a bunch of VTubers have been saying a bunch of unhinged shit, like talking in support of it, in support of the assassination attempt. Which is why I always found it funny when right-wingers are like VTubers. I've always thought VTubers were fucking scum, and this just goes to show just how fucking scummy VTubers are. Yeah, that's that. That's all I really had to say today. Have a good one. Toodles.